the inevitable failure of 2023 blockbusters, man. If y'all know me, y'all know I love movies, bro. I love movies. I love going to the movies. I love talking about movies. I love watching movie trailers for new movies, even if I never watch the movie or intend to watch the movie. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I love movies, bro. I know it's long, over an hour, but bro, it's very interesting. Like, just let him cook, bro. And plus, his videos are really, really good. The inevitable failure of 2023 blockbusters. And the main reason for this is because everybody's doing reboots, everybody's doing remakes, everybody's doing, just taking old shit and then making it new. And y'all seen the shit that been going on with Snow White. Oh my God, she's cooked, bro. She's done. She's out of here. But let's see what he's got to say.
Hey, quickly, before we start, a couple weeks ago, I put out a video on The Idol that was very heavily suppressed by YouTube due to some content not being advertiser friendly, and so it was slashed by the algorithm. And now I'm being made aware that some of you never even saw that this video came out, not even in your subscription feed. So I'm just letting you know in case you missed it. Go watch it. It's one of my favorite videos I've made, and I was really sad that it was a hit like that, but it's there, it exists, and I think you'll like it. So yeah, that's it. Thanks. Okay, let's talk. 2023 has been a very weird year for Hollywood. I mean, frankly, it's still being a very weird year for Hollywood. The film industry is in absolute shambles right now as the WGA and SAG are striking and quite literally fighting to have a decent livelihood. And speaking of which, I will leave you some links in
I didn't know they was deep like that.
The description if you'd like to learn more about the strike or donate to help the people striking. And things are just looking pretty bleak as we speak. But aside from the fact that big studios just refuse to pay the people that work for them fairly and want to exploit their likeness with AI so they can pay them even less, yes, that sounds like a fucking dystopian movie.
This shit just keeps coming up, Jack. It keeps coming up everywhere, bro. AI. There's a war coming.
Other reason why 2023 has been such a disastrous year for cinema is simply the box office. And by that I mean the absolute failure of the massive tentpole movies that came out this year. We got so many big blockbuster movies in 2023. These massive projects that studios count on to make billions of dollars with the help of big franchises, reboots, and remakes. They are the ultimate money makers of the industry. Except maybe not anymore. Because in 2023, almost every major blockbuster movie that was released in theaters turned out to be a large-scale flop. And the failure of blockbuster movies this year is now turning out to be a financial disaster like we've rarely seen before. And in that circle, people are very surprised.
It's so crazy because I didn't even know that this movie dropped in theaters, bro.
And studios are kind of panicking a little bit. To put it into perspective, in the past year alone, Disney, which is undeniably the largest film studio in the world,
have been putting out garbage.
Has lost an estimated historic $1 billion at the box office. And yes,
billion.
I said billion with a B. In 2023 alone. And 2022 was also not the best year for them because a lot of their larger projects did not perform well at the box office and lost them a bunch of money. But that's one studio, and they're not the only ones to be affected. This year, all of the major film studios found themselves tanking with their biggest projects. Whether it's Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, Universal, doesn't matter. All of them have been failing in a way that is starting to make people raise eyebrows.
Well, also, don't you think? Do you think this has in part to do with the strike that's going on, the writer strike?
Because at this point, this consistent failure of big blockbusters is turning into a bit of a pattern. Now, yes, it's important to note, not every tentpole movie has been a disaster. Oppenheimer has been really successful, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was also a notable hit this year, and Barbie has been so ridiculously massive that it's been breaking a series of box office records and broke the $1 billion mark at the box office in just 2 weeks.
I ain't gonna lie, they're like the promotion for this movie was like really good. Like, y'all remember the Google thing when you go to the Google the actors' names and stuff, all the shit was in pink and shit.
Movie is a fucking titan. Super Mario Brothers was also a billion-dollar movie, the only other one to come out this year.
I mean, it's Super
and
Mario.
John Wick 4 and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse were giant hits that made their respective studios a lot of money. But as you probably noticed, or as you will soon discover, these movies are a big minority compared to everything that has come out in 2023. It's just 6 movies in the entire roster of blockbusters that released this year. Everything else was kind of a flop, which is astonishing, by the way. This year has been a series of major movies
That was born to flop.
performing terribly and way below expectations. Needless to say, studios have been losing insane amounts of money. But why? Why
Not the
are
Little
Hollywood
Mermaid.
blockbusters failing? Like, what's going on? Because honestly, it's been happening way too much for it to be a coincidence or a fluke. This year has made it very clear that we are at a shifting point where these huge movies are not as profitable as they were just a few years ago. So, yeah. What happened?
What happened?
Well, I think there are 3 specific reasons why this year turned out
Did this movie ever even come out yet? Oh my god, I remember this trailer just looked so bad.
to be such a massive financial disaster for Hollywood, and White will keep being like this in years
I don't care what anybody says. The new Mission Impossible movie was fire, and I can't wait for the second part. I don't care. I'm biased. I don't care. I fucking like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is the GOAT.
to come if things don't change. Because, yeah, things definitely need to change. Okay, let's go. Number 1, blockbusters are too expensive to make now. This is the easy and obvious
I'm not gonna lie, they put so much money into that. It's like, do it need to cost that much? I mean, I guess for like the special effects and shit, but god damn.
reason, and you'll see why it's so obvious later in the video. But yeah, duh. There's been a lot of confusion over the past maybe 8 years over why major studios made a habit of dumping such an insane amount of money in their projects. Because it doesn't make sense. The reason why this is such an issue is simply that with the amount of money put in certain projects, it no longer makes sense in the grand scheme of things to attempt to be profitable at the box office.
Yeah.
Let me explain why. Let me give you the quick math. See, because of various financial reasons linked to their deals with movie theaters and investors, etc., it's estimated that in order for studios to break even on a movie they put out, that movie has to make around 2.5 times its budget
Damn.
at the box office. 2.5 times. So to put that in practice, if your movie costs $50 million to make, it has to make $125 million at the box office for you to break.
This movie was good. This was Creed 2? Oh shit. Damn, over 200 million? Okay. So they chilling. I wonder why they made a third one.
Even if it makes under that, even if you make, I don't know, $90 million, while you're actually losing money. For the example, that's why a lot of DC fans were confused last year as to why Black Adam was considered a box office bomb, and many thought those were lies because the movie definitely grossed more than its budget, so therefore it can't be a flop.
I ain't gonna lie, that's how I always thought too, though.
Well, yeah, it can, and it is. Why? Because Black Adam had a reported budget of $260 million, but it only grossed $393 million at the worldwide box office. Meaning, Warner Brothers actually lost millions of dollars with Black Adam. This movie was not profitable at all.
Ow.
Just because it made more money than its budget does not mean that it's a successful movie. So you're starting to see what the problem is, right?
How
In the
though?
last decade, studios
Wait, but how though?
have been inflating movie budgets to such an insane degree that it's turning into financial suicide. It's become so common to hear about blockbusters casually costing $250 million, if not more, that you now have to make unbelievable amounts of money just to break even. Not even to make a profit, but just to break even. This problem is caused by every
Marketing, promo. Yeah. in theaters. Studios only take home 2/3 of the box office.
Every studio desperately wanting to replicate Marvel's financial success. They watch Marvel having a streak of billion-dollar movies at the box office, and whoop, executives have dollar signs in their eyes, and they want the same thing. So they think, oh, they put a lot of money into their movies and make a lot of money, so bigger budget equals bigger returns. But no. Say what you will about Marvel, because they kind of suck right now, but they were smart with their approach. Marvel had the build-up. It made sense for them to put $300 million into Avengers Endgame. They built up to it through a series of mega successful movies during a 10-year period. It was a calculated risk, and of course it paid off. The movie made almost $3 billion at the box office.
Deserved.
But here's the thing, guys. You're not Avengers Endgame. Your movie is not Avengers Endgame, and your movie is not gonna make that much money. Case in point, even Marvel themselves are starting to struggle at the box office with how expensive their movies are. Like, guys, when you have to make $700 million at the box office for your movie to break even, there's a fucking problem. And I'm not even being hyperbolic here. You'll see later in the video, because I'm going to talk about it, but we are getting to the point where movies that have made over $700 million at the box office failed to break even. And I honestly think it's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. Studios are looking real dumb right now, and not just because of the strike. They are being so greedy and so trigger happy around the idea of having billion-dollar movies like Marvel that they don't realize how stupid the business model they created.
Yeah, I think some of them think that just because they have like the Marvel logo and what that used to mean, they think, oh yeah, this, like, they're gonna go see it. It's Marvel, duh. It's not like that. It's not really like that no more. I ain't gonna lie.
Especially because when it comes to blockbusters, number 2, there's too many of them. Staying on the topic of greed, let's talk about how studios decided to overplay their cards with audiences.
Did I watch Blue Beetle? Nah. Like, when I tell you, like, I'm kind of just done or like sick of the superhero stuff, I'm kind of over it. Like, I'll probably watch it when it comes to like streaming services, but I'm not going to the theater to see another superhero movie. It's just too much, and it's like the same shit, man.
With the fun little concept that is quantity over quality. Here's a quick question for you. Do you know why blockbuster movies are called blockbusters?
Yes, because they bring out the motherfucking block when they drop, right?
That's because back in the summer of 1975, when Steven Spielberg's Jaws came out, it became such a gigantic pop culture phenomenon that thousands upon thousands of people would line up in the streets everywhere in America to get a chance to see the movie. It was,
damn, she's thick,
a literal blockbuster. Because the lines would be so long that they would
Chat, what's the last movie y'all remember? And I know I think I know what movie it is for y'all, because I know which movie it is. What's the last time when y'all went to a theater, y'all, it was a line? Yeah, y'all already saying it. Bro, when I went to go see Endgame in theaters, bro, I'm talking about niggas, it was so, like, I wish I could go back and just re-experience seeing that movie for the first time again with a packed theater and everybody's just happy. I'm talking about everybody standing in line, they got their shirts on, looking around like, yeah, I heard it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, I know. Bro, oh my God. That's why I just love the movie theater. But it's like, there hasn't been nothing like that in a while. No Way Home. I'm trying to think if there was like a crazy line for No Way Home. Like, No Way Home was packed, but it was Endgame for me that where it was like, they literally had to have like 3 separate lines at the AMC, and it was like it was falling outside
continue on several blocks. People had never seen that before, and that phenomenon then happened again in the summer of 1977 when the first Star Wars movie came out. That completely changed cinema forever, and that is when these big summer movies became known as blockbusters.
Bro, we need something like we need a new something like just crazy, something a new. But what? There's so many ideas like that have already been created. What can be the next thing that when we see it, we're like, yo, we gotta go to the Five Nights at Freddy's. Get the fuck out my fucking chat. Get the fuck out my fucking chat. Holy shit. No way you just said that shit. No way you just said that shit.
And they were very special and precious to audiences and the...
But yo, I'm talking about a whole new IP. Like, sure, it could be like a Spider-Man movie that could potentially do that if they get like the right ideas or some shit like that, or maybe even the new Deadpool or something. But I'm talking about like a new thing. There's an untapped thing that some writer somewhere has or is gonna create that will bring people to the movie theaters, and we're just like, yo, holy shit.
Industry. Here's the thing though. The reason why they were so precious is because they used to be so rare. Back in the day, and up until like the mid to late 2000s, you would get like 2 major blockbusters a year.
Yeah.
If you were lucky. Gigantic box office shattering event films were just that. Event films. Things that would just happen once in a while and get people excited because they were the big events of the year at the movies.
See, chat, this is like new shit. You know what I think? I think a lot of it is like books. Base it off books. They base it off books and they make a movie from it. Because I didn't even know that Jurassic Park was based off of a book. Like, I didn't even know a lot of these big blockbuster movies were based off fucking books.
They were legendary and they blew up at the box office because they were few and far between. But in the last 10 to 15 years, notably with the arrival of the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
everything's a fucking reboot!
Movies
Or a continuation!
Studio
Or a spin-off!
completely shifted their focus to big franchises, and in their eternal greed, they have spent the last decade changing the landscape over time by filling their release schedules with a never-ending series of blockbusters.
I want to bang my head against the fucking...
all of their movies to be massive event films, and they are now releasing them at any time of the year.
Talk about it,
if you
bro.
don't believe me,
Damn.
you just have to look at this year, in 2023. In March alone, we had Creed 3, Scream 6, Shazam 2, John Wick 4, and Dungeons and Dragons coming out.
And guess what? I only seen 2 of those. I only watched 2 of those. Creed and John Wick. I didn't even watch the other movies.
Literally 5 massive event films.
Wait, Shazam I think I probably watched, but I can't even remember. No, I think I watched the first Shazam movie. Cause I've been done with I think that was still the time I was like kind of
being released in the span of 4 weeks. Are you really surprised that people didn't rush out to...
Wait, also, yes, also... continuation, original, but this is the first one, right? This is the first of the movies, because they're probably gonna have like a fucking trilogy. That's probably what they were going for, but I think this movie probably flopped, and so now they probably canceled that. But it's like, just look at this, bro. These are all continuations, but these were good. I did like these. I didn't watch these though. Actually, I think I watched this Scream on a plane.
Are you really surprised that people...
Oh, that was based off a game, Dungeons and Dragons. What the fuck? Niggas just trying to find anything to hit. Yo, Dungeons and Dragons. Nobody's done a movie. Let's do it, bro. Huh? Yo, why don't we make a Monopoly movie? Yo, why don't we make an Uno the movie?
People didn't rush out to see all of them? Broski, and by broski, I of course refer to Hollywood. Broski, escucha. The math is simple. If every movie that comes out every week is a major event film, then there is no such thing as a major event film.
Exactly. I don't know how much, you don't know how sick I am of hearing the #1 movie in America. The #1 movie in America. It's every fucking movie. Every fucking trailer. It's the #1 movie in America. Are you fucking kidding me?
The overwhelming majority of people are not going to go to the theaters 5 times a month. It's just not happening. So your big blockbuster is not a blockbuster anymore. It's just a $200 million movie that's never gonna make its money back. There's just too many blockbusters for people to keep up with, and that's a problem. People are just not going to watch all of them, which directly leads me to my next point. Number 3. The pandemic has changed audiences' habits with the movies. Yeah, shocker, things have changed since COVID. People do not go to the movies as much as they used to, and also, people do not want to go to the movies as much as they used to.
Which is unfortunate. Like, that sucks, because I do enjoy watching a movie, like, for the first time with a packed theater. But fucking, people don't want to go, which I understand, especially when you could just watch it on
Why? Look, it's a very
and shit.
simple equation. There's more and
I can't get over that fucking 50 Cent clip, bro.
as much as they used to. Why? Look, it's a very simple equation. There's more and more blockbusters coming out every week. These movies are getting more and more expensive to make, but audiences are becoming more selective with the movies they pick to go see in theaters.
True.
You get how that math ain't mathing.
What movie are they watching? Because they look so fucking bored.
Right? You get how that's not a winning formula, right? Because yes, these movies are getting ridiculously expensive to make, there's way too many of them coming out, and because all of the parties financially involved in making these movies and releasing them want to make a profit, movie tickets are also getting more expensive. You wanna, I don't know, take your significant other to the movies? Yeah.
Also, the food is.
That's gonna cost you like $40 just for the tickets. And if you're having popcorn and a drink and maybe a pack of M&Ms, I don't know, I like having M&Ms at the movies. Well, now you're probably looking at a $65 bill for a night out at the movie
I'm more of a popcorn, maybe a curly fry every now and then type of guy.
theater. Do you really expect people to do that 5 times a month? In this economy, my guy, that's $325 going into it monthly for the movie theaters. That's psychotic. Obviously.
Yeah, sometimes nachos too.
People
But AMC, the AMC near me got these weird, they like changed the cheese of the nachos, and that shit sucks now.
are gonna be picky with their movies. You can't blame them. It's the most logical thing in the world. So now what's happening is, because every single week of the month has a major blockbuster coming out, if not 2, audiences are going to pick 1, maybe 2 of them to go see, the more exciting ones, and all the other ones are going to flop because they were way too expensive to make, and they would need to make fucking, I don't know, $600 million to break even.
Yeah.
This business model doesn't work.
I'd rather just pirate this shit, honestly. Come on, Mike. Go to the theater, man. Go to the theater, man.
And 2023 is the ultimate confirmation that this blockbuster-focused vision of the film industry was never going to work out in the long run. It was a delusional idea, and if you ask me, this outcome was inevitable. And you know what? I'm going to make this super fucking clear now because
some movies, I'm gonna be honest though, aren't even worth seeing in theaters. Dick Rider Glaze. Well, hold on to your seats because I'm about to really be glazing. Some movies aren't even meant, like, there's no point in seeing it in theaters, paying all that extra money, because it's just a movie. Like, it's literally just something you could just watch at home. But movies, like a Tom Cruise Experience movie, like a Mission Impossible movie, those movies are made to be seen on the big screen. Across the Spider-Verse, it's made to be seen in the theaters, like with these shots, the sounds, the set pieces. You gotta see it in the theater, bro. You have to. But nobody really makes movies like that anymore. It's just like bullshit. You guys really would just watch it at home, especially when a lot of people are just using CGI and a lot of the actors really ain't even doing their own shit. It's just, it's like, you just watch it at home, or watch it when it comes to streaming services. But you gotta see it in theaters to see Tom Cruise really jump off that fucking cliff, man. To really be swerving and driving in that car and hitting them donuts. To see him running at full speed across the buildings.
Because we're about to take a look at the 10 biggest box office failures of 2023.
Let's do it!
Blockbuster movies Hollywood was proudly putting out in the hopes of making billions, but ended up crashing and burning spectacularly, leaving the studios in a ditch. And trust me, there's a lot to say. But before we get into that, let's take a quick moment to thank today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is
I remember Skillshare. I remember my fair share of sponsors from Skillshare, man.
All right, we are locked and ready. So now let's talk about the 10 most notable box office failures of 2023. Starting with number 10. Mission Impossible.
Oh, yeah, I'm done with this video. I ain't gonna lie. This nigga's fucking cooked. Holy shit, this dude's corny as fuck, y'all. All right, y'all. I hope y'all did enjoy the stream, bro. I love y'all so much, man. Bro, he don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Dead Reckoning Part 1. This is a great one to start this list. And before we even start, first of all, just to get it out of the way, Mission Impossible 7 is great. It's
exactly, that's what the fuck I thought. I'm sorry, you just doing your job. Like, you're talking about, you're being real. Sometimes some movies don't hit because some people are unappreciative of the film and the actor and the actresses that are in the movie and things like that. But I guarantee once, it's his time, everybody gonna be on his dick and talking about like, yo, I loved his last movie. No, you didn't. You didn't even go to theaters to see it. You a fucking poser. Fuck you. Suck my dick. Die slowly, nigga.
It's a really good, really well-made action movie.
Thank you.
Franchise is just constantly in it.
I'm like, I wasn't even in the movie. Like, I had any parts of the movie. What the fuck? Like, yo, calm down, Dante. It is not that deep.
Innovating and finding new ways to keep itself engaging and exciting, and it succeeds at that every single time. There isn't a single movie in this franchise that I dislike, even Mission Impossible 2, which is widely regarded.
That's crazy. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's the worst one.
That's the weakest entry in the series. It was my brother's favorite movie growing up, and we only watched it about 100 million times. And then I wasn't allowed to watch Dragon Ball Z because he wanted to watch it again, and so we had to sit through 2 hours of fucking Tom Cruise with long hair and masks and then a whole lot of fucking the motorcycle fight and the fucking. And now we are 27 years after the start of the franchise, and I'm still having a lot of fun with it.
Me too, man.
I had a great time with this movie.
I did too.
It's not my favorite in the franchise, but it's definitely up there. These movies are always improving in a lot of ways, but for some reason, despite their huge popularity, this last one didn't do well at the box office.
Because people are racist.
To be clear, this movie is not exactly a flop yet. It is still in theaters, but...
Then take it out the list, buddy, okay? Not too much. Take it out the list. You're reaching. You just want this video to hit 10 minutes. Calm down. Take it out the list.
It is a very noticeable disappointment, and it is pretty clear that it will not be a highly profitable project, if at all. Which is crazy to think about for this franchise. Dead Reckoning Part 1 wildly underperformed at the box office in a way that left a lot of people in the industry quite puzzled. Not only did it get a weak domestic opening weekend with $52 million, which was already below expectations, the movie also suffered a surprisingly massive 64% box office drop in its second weekend, which heavily impacted its earnings.
I ain't gonna lie, for you to be like caring about numbers that so much is kind of weird. Like, you kind of own dick, bro. Just like watch the movies. Kind of weird.
Now, while that sounds catastrophic, it's important to note that Mission Impossible has...
Like, dude really made a whole hour and 22 long video talking about numbers. Like, it's literally not that deep.
Always done really well overseas, and Dead Reckoning's only saving grace seems to be its international box office, which really came in to balance the scale here, but I'm not sure this is gonna be enough to make it a winner. There's no way around it. This movie is just not doing well, and it is currently the second lowest earning movie in the franchise, right behind Mission Impossible 3.
That's my favorite movie. And by the way, to use that crazy is I'm glad that you know like a good ass scene when you see one. To use this clip, arguably this was one of the greatest clips. It's just so fire and action packed. But you literally just doing a lot of waffling right now. The movie's still in theaters. You didn't need to put this on your list, but I get it. We got to get 10 minutes so you can get, your revenue.
Lowest earning movie in the franchise, right behind Mission Impossible 3, which came out in 2006. At the time of recording this, Dead Reckoning is sitting with $522 million at the box office, which would be outstanding news for a lot of movies, but given the fact that the estimated budget of this film is somewhere around $290 million, and given the fact that the studio likely put another $100 million in marketing, it wouldn't be crazy to think that Mission Impossible 7 becoming profitable for Paramount is not looking like too great of an endeavor right now.
Well, if I know my math, that sounds like a positive to me. I don't care.
Doing okay next to some other movies in this list, but I think we can just admit that Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is definitely not a success.
Yeah, we can go ahead and disagree. Next.
Now, for some reason, I assumed that the upcoming Dead Reckoning Part 2 was gonna be the final movie in the franchise. So I thought, okay, well, maybe it'll generate some buzz and the franchise can go out on a high note as one of the most memorable action franchises in American cinema, something like that. But turns out, no. Tom Cruise apparently said very recently that he intends to make Mission Impossible movies until he's too old to make them. So I have no idea what the future of the series looks like, or if the disappointing box office of Dead Reckoning is the start of a real decline, or just bad luck for being released at such a weird time and just a couple weeks ahead of Barbenheimer. But either way, this sudden shift in the franchise's box office return and overall popularity is
I would never get over how she got beamed in the head, bro.
Shift in the franchise's box office return and overall popularity is just not a great sign. Which is more that I can say for the next entry in this list, number 9.
There we go. Jesus.
Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Damn. Shazam!
Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest.
Damn.
I kinda hate that this movie is on this list. And I don't
Wow, you're kinda glazing. Do your fucking job and just talk about the movie. Holy shit.
even like this movie, but I hate having to put it here.
Bro, talk about the numbers. Talk about how it flopped. Don't try to give it excuses. If the movie sucks, it's fucking garbage.
Here because I am a massive fan of the director who made it.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
And I want to talk about him for a second. If you don't know, the director of both Shazam movies is David F. Sandberg. This guy, who also directed Annabelle Creation as well as Lights Out, which to this day is still considered by many to be the greatest horror short film of all time.
Oh, I remember this. Yep.
And the reason why I am such a big fan of David, aside from the fact that I like most of his projects, is simply because of his online presence. If you don't know, as well as being a big shot Hollywood director.
Someone said, bro, standing like young boy.
And the reason why I am such a big fan of David, aside from the fact that I like most of his projects, is simply because of his online presence. If you don't know, as well as being a big shot Hollywood director handling like huge superhero movies, David is also a YouTuber. And he has been on YouTube for like 17 years. He has a channel named Pony Smasher where he used...
So where was all this love and accolade and all that shit for Tom Cruise? I'm just saying. Because you're kind of on this dude's dick. I'm just fucking saying, man. Where's the respect there?
to make animations and now makes videos about his filmmaking. He actually was noticed by Hollywood after making that iconic Lights Out short and posting it to his channel, and he became this super huge director after he was approached by a studio to adapt Lights Out into a feature film that came out in 2016. But the thing I adore with David is that even after becoming a
Come
superstar
on, buddy.
who directed
Come on, just get to it. Rip it off like a band-aid. I know it hurts to say, but the movie sucks. It did bad. It's failing. It flopped. Talk about it. Look at this. Look how longer this segment is compared to how you shit on Cruise's movie.
massive Hollywood blockbusters, he never left YouTube behind. To this day, he still uploads videos whenever he can. He talks about his journey as a filmmaker, and he opens up a lot about his struggles of being the director of such big movies with such large crews under his command.
Oh, he struggles about directing large movies? How about the struggles of being in the largest movies, being the star of the largest movies and doing your own stunts in the largest movies? How about that? Huh?
While being a very anxious introvert who doesn't do well socially.
Sometimes there are issues and obstacles, like the last day of shooting Shazam. We wrapped and I was asked to say a few words in front of the crew, and I just could not do it. It was just one of those days. So I didn't say anything. I went home and felt like an asshole.
Oh my God. He doesn't like talking to people. Oh no. Tom Cruise ran for like a mile straight. A mile straight. No cuts, no edits. And the camera stayed on this nigga. And he did the next scene.
Ethan?
When we met,
Watch this shit.
there was a lake near the mountain. What is the lake called?
Wanaka. Please, Ethan.
Jules.
Ethan, I don't understand.
Yeah! You hear that fucking score?
Benjamin Dunn? Reggie, it's me, Ethan. What? No. Really? Listen to me very carefully. I need your help.
You hear the fear in his voice? You see the fear in his eyes? That is acting.
I need to trace the location of the last call made from his phone. No, look, shush. They're looking for, everyone's looking for you. Everyone I know, they're looking for, I just looked it up. Okay, you're on Interpol's most wanted list, and that, by the way, is a spectacular list to be on. Whatever happened, I'm sorry, but I'm hanging up right now. Reggie, I don't have time for this. What do you think happened? I've been set up. I think I like my job, okay?
I'm on the edge of my seat and I've seen this movie like 80 times.
A lot, all right? And you know they're gonna be taping this call. And you know you can erase it. I'm giving you the number right now. Are you ready? All right, just hang on. I'm gonna lose my citizenship because of this, you know? 734425-64367. Okay, wait, okay, just hold the line, please. You there? Yeah. Okay. Maybe we can share a jail cell together, you know? If this all goes tits up, which it will. The location of that number is Shanghai. There, I just told you, Shanghai. I've just aided and abetted an enemy of the state. Fantastic, thank you. Am I close? Use his phone to track my location. Well, are you there? Well, you're
Chat, shut up.
you're close. How close?
Oh shit. Listen. He's close. He's close. What will he do? He's close.
Is there a signal in the building? No. It isn't coming from there.
It's in a building 1 mile to the northeast.
Reggie.
1 mile to the northeast. It's a mile. What's he gonna do?
Lead me to the signal. There's one thing. What the hell are you doing in Shanghai? I'll tell you when I see you. Well, You need to go north. Okay, there's a bridge. Get to it, cross it, make a left, go 3/4 of a mile along the river. I got it.
He's a mile away, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Uncut. That guy. He's still going. He's so fucking good. I can't. Did you know? Did you know he had to instruct people? They had to instruct people to not get in his way because of how fast he was running. He could kill them.
There's one thing. What the hell are you doing in Shanghai?
One more time.
See ya.
Now pay attention as the music ramps up, as he runs faster and faster. That's called movie magic.
What the hell are you doing in Shanghai?
I'll tell you
When I see you.
You need to go north. Okay, there's a bridge. Get to
Listen.
it, cross it, make a left.
Listen.
3/4 of a mile along the river.
I got it.
Listen. And then we pan out.
Good. That's right. Keep going. Make your next left, and then the next one, and then
Follow that down 1,000 yards.
1,000 yards.
Like you thought he was done? No.
Left.
Yeah, that's good. Keep going.
Okay, now look. Hi.
Benji, which way do I go?
Take a right.
I almost got hit by a truck.
Okay, go down left.
Left. I'm going left.
Good. It's in the second building on your left. The signal bearing's plus or minus 3 meters from the northeast corner.
Oh yeah.
Good job, Tom Cruise. Mission accomplished.
I couldn't even
I
say
can't
thank
talk
you to the
to
people that
people.
worked their asses off on this movie. Instead, I wrote a letter that was sent out to everyone. That was my workaround for that. And something that I'm still not a fan of are movie premieres. They're supposed to be a celebration. Yay, we finished the movie and now it's gonna be out in the world. But I always kind of dread them because I know I'll have to get up in front of everyone and do a little speech.
Tom Cruise spent 20 minutes before the premiere of his Dead Reckoning film, thanking, shaking hands, and taking pictures with all of his fans.
I'm very envious of outgoing people like Zachary Levi, who seemingly can get up in front of people without prior notice and make a speech, just like that.
You're
To
still
me,
going!
That's like magic.
He also shares behind the scenes and tips on his movies to help other filmmakers improve their work. And even though he now makes big blockbuster movies with hundreds of millions of dollars involved, David never stopped making horror short films for YouTube.
Wait, hold on. Trump's mugshot dropped? Ain't no way. Where's it at? Trump departs Atlanta after bonding out of Fulton County Jail. Mugshots to be released. Where that though? It's cap.
He's still making his little home movies. And he doesn't have like a large crew and insane resources.
Oh my god, I've never seen somebody make so many excuses for one man. Oh my gosh. Yo, just show the numbers, bro. Like, this is so weird.
For these shorts, he's literally just making them in his house with his wife. They're his little passion projects and like little ideas he wants to get out of his head while having fun. And the best part is, all of his horror shorts are fucking amazing.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, you're on his dick. Are you about to show a clip from his, like, who asked from a clip from another film? Talk about the numbers. You're stalling.
Just released a new one like 2 months ago,
God,
and it's just as
he's
good as
actually
the shorts
stalling.
he
This is
made
so
like
weird.
9 or 10 years ago around the time he made Lights Out. And every short film he releases is followed by a detailed breakdown of how he shot it. Like, his channel is just a gold mine of hands-on knowledge for filmmakers. I love it. He just seems like the biggest sweetheart, and I respect him so much for never ditching YouTube as soon as he got
Oh my god, he's such a dick rider. Oh my god, he's such a dick rider. He's such a dick rider. But guess what? Did he hang? Did he hang on the side of a plane?
Ethan?
Did he hang on the side of a fucking plane? Huh? No, he didn't.
Can you open the door?
Ethan?
Where are you? I'm by the plane. Benji, can you open the door?
Can I open
This is real. He did this.
the door? Maybe.
Open the door when I tell you!
Just take a look at that legendary run. Perfect form, striding in the wind. Open the door when I tell you. As the music.
Door.
Can I open the door? Maybe.
Open the door when I tell you!
Look at this. This is meant to be seen in theaters. You hear that? The score?
I'm on the plane! Open the door! How did you get in the plane? Not in the plane! I'm on the plane! Open the door! Benji! Open the door!
Yeah, okay.
This is real! It's real!
Door right now! Yeah, I'm trying.
For our entertainment! Listen. Listen as the music kicks in, as his feet begin to slide off the side of the plane because he's losing grip because of the force of the wind blowing at him. He actually did this!
Come on, Benji.
Benji, open that door!
Come on.
Fucking crazy madman!
Come on.
Yes, got it! That's the wrong door!
Benji, not that door, the other door.
The other door, right, yes, the other door. Okay, oh, yes, sorry, my bad.
Hello, Hajel.
Yeah,
All
go
right,
check it
let's go
out.
to Paradise.
I wonder what it is. Ow! Fucking legend. But he's been making YouTube videos still to this day. Talk about the numbers, man.
foot in the door in Hollywood. At the end of the day, David is just a guy who is super passionate and nerdy about cinema, and I'm a big fan of his. Anytime he has a movie coming out, I am here to support it, but I also have to be honest about my feelings on things I watched, so you can imagine that it really pains me to say Shazam! Fury of the Gods is just not it.
Oh my God,
I really wanted to
Took you long enough, bro.
like this movie. I found a lot of enjoyment in the first one, and I like the cast a lot, so I was excited to see them in action again, especially with the addition of Rachel Zegler in the sequel, as well as in action again, especially with the addition of Rachel Zegler.
Is that Snow White? Oh my God. No wonder why the movie did bad.
Zegler in the sequel, as
Oh my God.
well as two fucking legends of Hollywood, Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren. However, However, I started getting a little worried with the trailers, which I found to be particularly bland and surprisingly uninteresting. Now, trailers aren't always an accurate representation of what a movie is gonna be. We all know that. But like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like my spidey sense just started tingling. Something was off with this one. And unfortunately for my own ass, I was right. Regardless of how much I wanted to love it, I have to be honest, Shazam 2 is not a good movie. It's just kind of a boring drag.
I mean, you said all that just to, like, we knew this. Just, bro, look at Snow White. Holy shit. It's not the 1930s anymore, okay? She's not gonna be woken up by a prince. We don't need a prince anymore. She's got her own, she can figure out things on her own. A lot of these guys are my age or younger.
It has a tedious, generic story, generic characters with very weak motivations and very weak storylines, and a Wonder Woman cameo that is so forced.
The fact that some of y'all know what that is immediately is crazy, bro. I love y'all, man.
That it feels like a Saturday Night Live skit.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's not the worst movie.
Wait, she was... Oh my God, is that
Forced
CGI?
that it feels-
Wait, was she actually in this movie? Oh my God, I just can't look at her. I can't look at her the same. I can't ever look at her the same.
It's like a Saturday Night Live skit.
ladies and gentlemen,
It's not the worst movie I've ever seen by any means. I think some people made this movie sound way worse than it actually was. Like, it's not unwatchable.
You can admit it, bro. It's just a shit movie, and that's why it's number 9 in your list, because it sucked and it failed at the box office. But blockbuster movies
Or anything. It's just extremely forgettable, underwhelming, and again, unbelievably generic.
Dog, the director don't know you. He not gonna fuck you. All right, quit talking about him. Quit glazing. Quit sugarcoating. The movie sucked. All right.
And unfunny. Everything about this movie you have already seen in other movies.
Yo, chat. Like, I fuck with people. Like, oh my gosh, there's some people. There's like actors and shit that I like, but holy shit, I would never like put so much fucking excuses on a video that I had to make facts about. Like, holy shit.
That did it much
Dude's bringing out movie clips talking about, like, and he makes YouTube videos to this day, so I have to respect him. Like, oh, blah, 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 blah.
better. And between the negative reviews, the bad word of mouth, and the half-assed marketing campaign it got prior to its release, there was absolutely no world in which anyone was going to be interested in this sequel. And yeah, the numbers just kind of confirm that. Shazam 2 bombed really, really hard at the box office. I think at the time of recording this, it's estimated that it lost Warner Brothers around...
I hate when people fall like that in movies.
Office. I think at the time of recording this, it's estimated that it lost Warner Brothers around $150 million, and that's just fucking insane. People cared so little about this movie that the studio decided to throw it on digital like a couple weeks after it came out. It was an absolute financial
Yeah, I didn't even know this
disaster.
came out
And aside
either.
from Zachary Levi having a fucking meltdown on social media over people not going to see the movie,
No.
everyone who's in it seems to feel like they weren't too satisfied with the movie either.
No way. I'm just saying, you never see like Tom Cruise doing some shit like that, begging people to watch his movie and some shit like that.
Rachel Zegler flat out admitted that the only reason she did this movie is because she couldn't find another job and she needed it.
Oh my God, she's just an asshole. Oh my God, she's just an asshole. What the fuck? Oh my God, how could you? How could you abandon your co-workers like that? She just jumped ship.
That the only reason she did this movie is because she couldn't find another job and she needed it. It's not like she was passionate about it. Even David F. Sandberg himself doesn't seem to like how the movie turned out. On the opening weekend, he literally said he knew the movie was gonna bomb a long time ago.
What?
And then he just tweeted that he's done with superhero movies, which honestly is kind of cool. I'm dying for him to go back to horror. But yeah, just in
Kind of cool. Sounds like an excuse. All right, just make a better superhero movie. Don't try to. I'm not gonna lie. You're very much just vouching too much for this guy, man. Okay. I'm just saying, TC would never do that shit, bro.
general, big yikes. Basically, this movie was a disappointment for everybody involved. The audience, the actors, the director, and the studio. And given that
I remember when TC did that Mummy movie, and it did not do well. And when I watched it, I was like, TC, I don't know what made you want to do this, but But I'm pretty sure he didn't go around crying that the movie didn't do well and that people should have went and watched this movie. You know what TC did? He went and made another movie. Boom, blockbuster. Shot it big. He didn't go ahead and cry about it and start tweeting about it. Holy shit, do better.
It came out during this very awkward time that marks the end of the DCU as we know it. Feels like this letdown was almost inevitable. I don't think people could have had high expectations after Black Adam, and DC in general has just been having a very difficult time getting the audience's trust back. I already feel bad for Blue Beetle. This movie never stood a chance.
Damn.
Anyways, let's move on.
I heard Blue Beetle was actually cool though, but I'm not gonna see it. TC is crazy. What? You don't. He don't know you.
Number 8. Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
I told y'all, I swear I had no idea this came. This is not real. This is not real. This is not real. It's fake. Hold on. Let me open up an Instagram. All I gotta do is open up Instagram. And then we will see. What the lawsuit claims Roblox operates illegal gambling ring that preys on children. What the fuck? That's so random. Let's see. Any it's real, chat. Wait, it's real. It's actually real. To be honest, it's not a bad mugshot, right? Like he kind of looked cool. He don't look scared or anything. He kind of looked determined. It's kind of fire.
Peaceful little monkey.
This one is just funny to me for some reason. The Transformers franchise is probably the blockbuster franchise that makes people roll their eyes the hardest. It's just everyone seems to be so over it.
The first 3 were really good though, just because Sam Witwicky, aka Shia LaBeouf.
I mean, it's always been a massive question mark for a lot of people because it seems like literally everybody hates these movies, but they also made just absurd amounts of money at the box office. And they pretty much dominated the blockbuster genre for like a while. That said though, after the 4th movie,
which artist is using it as a song cover? Either Kodak or Lil Pump trying to make a comeback and use it as a cover of a single.
of Extinction came out in theaters in 2014 and made $1 billion, by the way. There was a very sudden shift with audiences that got really tired of Transformers. 2017's Transformers: The Last Night, the final...
Yeah, once they got Mark Wahlberg in there, that's when I was kind of like, all right, what are we doing here? And I like Mark Wahlberg.
Michael Bay Transformers movie was a major box office disappointment. Bumblebee came out a year later and also disappointed at the box office, even though the movie itself is kind of fun. And then also disappointed at the box office, even though the movie...
Wait, who is she? What does she do now? She like a superhero, isn't she? Was she one of the a superhero for one of the Marvel movies? Hawkeye, there we go.
Movie itself is kind of fun. And then the franchise took a bit of a hiatus as Paramount Pictures tried to find a way to restart the franchise and give it a new life. And
oh shit, yeah, she's in the Spider-Verse too. She voices Gwen. Oh, shout out to her.
So 5 years and 1 pandemic later, we finally saw the release of Transformers: Rise of the Beast, a sort of sequel to Bumblebee that also acts as a soft reboot of the franchise that retcons some of the previous installments.
What?
And oh boy, this movie was supposed to be the grand return of the Transformers franchise in the forefront of pop culture like it was in like 2009 or 2010, which is fucking hilarious because it is insane how nobody gave a fuck about this movie.
I'm telling you, I did not know it was in theaters, and I reacted to the trailer and everything. I've become so numb to these movies. Stop making them, cause I don't care. I don't care. Yo.
This nigga, whoever made this fucking video, is a fucking idiot, okay? He says nobody cares about the movie. Okay, actually, this movie outsold Spider-Verse 2 opening weekend.
Whoa. Ain't no way.
You can look it up, bro. Dante, listen, it sold $61 million and Spider-Verse sold 55 opening weekend. Chat saying cat. You can look it up. Nigga, I worked on both of the movies.
Krishna, did you like this movie?
Well, yes, I was on the fucking tour for this movie. We worked on this movie for 4 years.
Oh,
Dante, 4
damn.
years.
You worked on the movie for...
It was great.
Y'all worked on the movie for 4 years and niggas didn't even know it was in theaters. I wouldn't even have said that, man.
Well, because you're an old man and you don't know shit.
I reacted to the trailer.
But you didn't go watch the movie.
I didn't know. I literally didn't even know it came out, bro. I had no idea they had it in theaters. Oh, you did? I ain't gonna lie. I must have missed that. I must have missed that slide, bro. I must have missed that story, bro.
But it's not a flop. It literally outsold Into the Spider-Verse opening weekend, bro.
How?
Because it's a good movie. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
I swear I didn't know this shit dropped. This shit, you know what? I'll check it out once it comes to streaming services, man.
Thank God. Oh my God, yes. I will literally buy you a physical version of the fucking movie.
I don't need the physical version. I don't know if I want that in the house or nothing, but I'll check it out on streaming.
Wow. Oh, man. Okay, man. All right, fuck you, man.
All right, bro.
Like nobody cared. This shit came out and crickets. I mean, to tell you, I didn't even realize this movie was out until I started working on this video.
Yo, thank you. I didn't even know this was out until like I forgot what we were even doing, and then I was like, damn, did this even drop yet? Hold on, real quick.
This shit came out and crickets. I mean, to tell you, I didn't even realize this movie was out until I started working on this video. I was hearing so little about it that I just thought it was gonna be released later this year.
I swear, me too.
But turns out, no. This movie came out 2 months ago. I didn't know that, and given the box office, I don't think a lot of people knew that. Because yeah, in terms of box office, things have not been looking very good. It made $429 million, sure, but it made that on a $200 million budget. And that's not even counting marketing. Broski, that's not good. At all. Because remember, for a movie to bring...
Yo, Krishna, he talking directly to you, bro.
That's not good. At all. Because remember, for a movie to break even at the box office, it needs to make about 2.5 times its budget. And keep in mind, that's not even to be profitable, it's just to break even. That means if Rise of the Beast costs $200 million to make, it needs to make around $500 million at the box office just to break even. Just to make sure that it didn't lose money. That's $500 million. So I can tell you right now that Transformers 6 did not make any money. $429 million at the box office on a $200 million budget is not a win. It lost money. It is currently the lowest grossing movie in the entire franchise, and yes, that is including Bumblebee.
Including Bumblebee? Including Bumble? Yo. Krishna.
Not a win. It lost money. It is currently the lowest grossing movie in the entire franchise. And yes, that is including Bumblebee. I did watch the movie a couple days ago, and while I didn't think it was the worst thing ever made, I totally understand why nobody really cared about it when it came out. I understand why the people who saw it were not particularly buzzing about it. Rise of the Beast is the most aggressively average movie I've seen this year. It is mid, in the middle of the realm of mid. A lot of it is really boring and empty. It's extremely forgettable.
Yo, I have never seen someone say, like, I've never heard the term aggressively average. Yo, imagine that. Like, rate me on a scale of 1 to 10. Aggressively average. Like, you're aggressively like an aggressive 5.
The characters are lame and mostly annoying.
Holy, I'm adding that into my like verbiage, bro. I mean my vernacular. Holy shit.
Script is ridiculous and repetitive. Like
it's aggressively trash.
The story of this movie is just a lesser version of the already shitty story of the previous movies. It does absolutely nothing new. Everything works with an insane amount of conveniences that make the stakes non-existent. This movie sucks. It sucks. It's a bad movie. Also, Liza Koshy is in it. That has nothing to do with anything. I just thought I'd bring it up. You get it. It's
what? Really? What? That's aggressively crazy. That's aggressively crazy casting.
It's just a mediocre film that doesn't exist for any other reason than Paramount would like.
Aggressively ass cheeks.
Franchises. I think it's the kind of movie you see and then as soon as it's done, you just immediately forget about it.
Damn.
And wait, what was I talking about?
Damn!
Number 7, The Little Mermaid.
And it was like bow.
Boy.
I'm not gonna lie, this movie was like, it was alright. Like I kind of fucked with it. It was cool, man. And I like the pigeon or the seagull, whatever it is, man. And I was like bow, and I was like bow, wow.
So a couple months ago, I made a video
and it was an amazing video. Everything you said was correct.
Titled Tired Franchises Hollywood Refuses to Let Die, in which I went on an extensive rant about how one of my biggest pet peeves in modern cinema has become unescapable. And that pet peeve was the Disney live-action remakes franchise. An endless series of movies where Disney essentially takes all of their legendary classics that made them a household name and then just remake them, but not as good.
Yeah, make
an
them
idea
worse.
that just sounds really dumb because it kind of is, but that somehow made them billions of dollars because these movies have been super successful for some reason.
Yep.
I mean, until very recently, that is. The last big theatrical release in the live-action Disney adaptation was 2021's Cruella, which underwhelmed at the box office and didn't break even. Disney Plus then released the live-action Pinocchio.
Oh, this was on Disney Plus, that's why.
And Peter Pan and Wendy, which were both flops, and now we are back to a major big screen release with The Little Mermaid.
I mean, she killed the song though. Part of your world.
And oh boy, it did not do well. And you know what? I didn't even hate The Little Mermaid
Right, bro? Like, it was cool. It was just a cool movie.
remake. I thought it was very okay. It's fine. It's whatever.
It was cool. Like, it was aggressively cool.
Does it hold a candle to the
Anonymous with a $1 donation, and he says titties. What was the point?
classic animated movie? No, it doesn't. None of these movies hold a candle to their originals.
At all.
Except maybe for Jungle Book. This movie
True.
is fire.
Yeah,
but
true.
even though I thought the movie was okay, yet forgettable, yet okay, and Halle Bailey is a fucking superstar who absolutely killed it as Ariel, I watched this movie constantly asking myself, why? Why did we need this?
Yeah.
Why? The answer is we didn't need it, but I couldn't help myself but ask anyway.
She was really good. Like, she killed. That was the best, like, character in terms of, like, recreating the older characters. It was definitely her.
way. And it looks like I wasn't the only one asking this question, because The Little Mermaid was a pretty big box office disappointment. Audiences were not at all willing to run to the theaters to watch this one, which is kind of a growing trend with Disney, but we'll get to that later.
Hopefully they learn.
Now, to be fair, The Little Mermaid didn't exactly bomb.
Name 5 people in the new Transformers movies that are human. I didn't even watch the new Transformers movie. I couldn't even tell you.
But it barely managed to keep its head above water. It barely broke even, and some reports still speculate that it might have lost Disney an estimated $20 million, which isn't that bad compared to what some other movies on this list have lost.
Disney just doing a cheat code. Like, they just taking all their, like, most famous properties, and then it's just the name, bro. Because I'm not gonna lie, they're working on a Bambi remake, and I'm gonna watch it because I fucking love Bambi. So, like, it's just unfair. It's a glitch. It's a money glitch.
But it's still a solid dent in the wall, especially for a movie that you just know Disney was expecting to make $1 billion. And I think this movie is the best example of a big Hollywood project that cost way too much money for no reason. The Little Mermaid had a budget of $265 million without marketing.
Yo, think of how much money they can make if they just cut out a lot of stuff, but then the effects might just look a little ass. I don't know, like, where they putting their money in and how they doing it in different places, but the name alone using these older entities is enough to sell tickets. I'm gonna be honest.
And I have one question for you. Why? Why on earth did Disney throw out so much fucking money into this movie? And I know some people are gonna say it's because of the CGI, but
yeah, like for the water phases and stuff like that, but still, like, you gotta be able to figure it out, bro.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that a little bit. I just mentioned the Jungle Book remake. This movie is literally all CGI. Mowgli is the only real thing you see on screen. This movie is so packed with expensive things for a big production, and it cost $175 million. It's already a fuckload of money, but why on earth does The Little Mermaid cost almost $100 million more? And all of that to look worse. It's the most expensive remake they've made so far, and I just don't get why. If they
Wait, more than The Lion King? That was literally all CGI. It was more than The Lion King?
hadn't inflated this budget so much, this movie
they must have thought this shit was gonna take off, bro.
Could have actually been profitable a little bit. I just don't get what they're doing. Anyways, you get the point. Let's move on.
I don't get it.
Number 6, Elemental.
You're so hot.
Yep, we're sticking with Disney, and believe it or not, there are more to come in this list. This one is gonna be quick though, mostly because, like most of you guys currently watching this video, I didn't even see this movie.
Nope.
Elemental is yet another massive L for Disney, and it's one more entry in a series of financial...
Anybody watch this movie? And if you did, like, they get together at the end, right? Like, do they end up together? What happens? Dante, this one is your fault. What? The movie? Yes, this is the movie that I literally predicted. I didn't even predict it. I just came up with it. And somebody stole my idea. But what happens? What happens at the end, chat? They end up kissing. They die. I can't just get it as like a simple answer, man. Fire bitch goes to prison. Oh, I'm done.
Disasters for Pixar, which, if you don't know, has not been doing well for a while now. And Elemental is a movie we've been hearing about for a very long time. It was very much introduced to audiences as being Pixar's next big thing, kind of like we had seen in the past with the likes of Inside Out or Coco. Unfortunately though, that didn't exactly work out. And when I say Elemental is the latest entry in Pixar's series of failures, he
dies and then she brings him back to life. How the fuck?
not an exaggeration. As of right now, it seems like Pixar is the major studio that has had the hardest time recovering from the pandemic, and all of their attempts at coming out with a massive hit has just crashed and burned with little to no returns. Onward was obviously very impacted by
Onward was so good though. I'm not gonna lie, that movie was touching.
The pandemic, because it came out just a couple weeks before the entire planet shut down, and it lost Disney a whole lot of money.
That's unfortunate, bro.
For 2021's Luca, another massive commercial
cool.
flop that I
this.
believe
It was
was the
alright.
lowest grossing movie in Pixar history at the time it came out. Turning Red was sent straight
I didn't even watch this. I heard this was good though.
to Disney Plus, certainly losing Disney millions and millions of dollars, knowing that the movie barely made anything and had a budget of $175 million. This movie's really good, by the way. And of course, one of the most unexpected failures for Pixar was 2022's
This shit, I didn't need to see this movie. This shit was just bad. What were they thinking?
Lightyear, a movie they were certain was going to be a smash hit, but
I don't even know how they would think that. Why did they do this?
ended up falling so flat that it ended up losing Disney an estimated $106 million according to Deadline.
Good.
That's fucking crazy.
Like, I really hope they looked at themselves and like, why did we do this? Yo, from now on, we're not doing no stupid shit like that. We took Buzz Lightyear, the character that they love and know from Toy Story, and then made him a fucking cop.
And now the follow-up to Lightyear that was supposed to get Pixar back on track is Elemental, which came out in June to a disastrous 29 million opening weekend.
What? How? What else dropped that weekend? There's $2 more for the random titty message. Why? Chris next door. This movie actually passed into the Spider-Verse in the wait, hold on. This movie actually passed into the Spider-Verse by what movie? Wait, what? Ain't no way.
Which got
Elemental. What? Elemental has passed across the Spider-Verse internationally. The second highest grossing animation movie. What? How's this possible? Wait, how? It's this little nigga, bro. I've been hearing about him. I've heard the stories. I've heard the stories about this dude, bro. It's really big in Korea? Why? I mean, I'm not mad at it. Like, I'm just like, I thought this, like, it's just crazy how shit has changed. Good for them, I guess. They probably finna make a sequel now. Great.
everybody real worried real quick. Headlines started coming out with people from the industry starting to ask if Elemental was the confirmation of Pixar's downfall, with many doubting its ability to ever recover from the pandemic. But, the big twist with Elemental is that despite its awful launch, the movie did have legs and it ended up earning more money than expected.
That's crazy.
Like, it's definitely not going to be one of those movies to lose $100 million, but it also was not the ultimate smash hit they seem to believe it would be. Right now, it's not even clear if the movie broke even, given the fact that it had a $200 million budget. And if it did break even, it really did it by the skin of its neck.
Almost there.
So yeah, not a total
That's
failure,
crazy.
but a massive disappointment
actually crazy.
nonetheless. At this point, it's very difficult to say what the future of Pixar looks
Oh yeah, in the Spider-Verse, they had that scene with the flag, with the trans flag, and so the movie got banned in certain places too.
like, but I think they're really gunning for a huge financial hit in 2024 because they're releasing Inside Out 2 in the summer. I have no idea how this movie is going to perform. I think they waited way too long to make it, but
Imagine thinking like a flag in a movie is gonna just do something to your kids. Like that's funny.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Number 5, Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yikes! Yikes. I remember when we first reacted to this trailer. I was just like, what?
Honor Among Thieves.
I'm at the
Another quick one, but one that I absolutely wanted to mention. And before I even start, yes, I know. Dungeons and Dragons feels like someone at Paramount watched Guardians of the Galaxy and was like, oh, can we just redo that, but fantasy instead of sci-fi?
Wait, oh my God. That's the perfect way to put this. That's the perfect way to describe this. That's literally what it is.
Dungeons and Dragons feels like someone at Paramount watched Guardians of the Galaxy and was like, oh, can we just redo that, but fantasy instead of sci-fi? Like, this movie wants to be Guardians of the Galaxy so bad, but you know what? I don't care. This movie's fun. I liked it.
What?
It's such a fun ride that pays attention to a lot of details linked to the D&D game and lore while not taking itself too seriously at this.
Oh, well, see, I never played Dungeons and Dragons, so it's like I wouldn't see it then.
Same time. It's not like a fantastic movie by any means, but it was a good time. The trailers already had me hooked. I was really into the vibe the movie was offering.
Oh, you don't need to have played the game to enjoy it.
And I was really hopeful that it would do well because, one, we don't talk about the first D&D movie.
Oh my God, there was one before. Ain't no way that their caption was, "This is no game." Is that Marlon? Who is this? Is that Marlon? Nah. Ain't no way, bruh.
Movie. And because, two, it's just a fun little adventure movie with actors I really like. But yeah, let's...
What? Hold on. Dungeons and Dragons trailer. When would that movie... That had to come out in the 90s. Like I'm putting 90s trailer. Oh. Wait. 2000. What? Oh shit. This is like an intro thing, right? Like, you know how like movies have intros? This is what this is, right? This isn't an actual, like the actual movie. What was that?
In a faraway world.
Ew!
Deserve to be free and equal.
The child is not fit to govern an empire. The forces of darkness. You can control dragons. With the dragon army at my command, I can crush the Empress.
This has got to be some twisted magic experiment gone seriously wrong.
Have threatened to conquer a kingdom.
What can I do to stop Profion?
If you could obtain the Rod of Savril, you could control red dragons.
I suggest we lay low, let the whole thing blow over, come back, rob everybody.
There's one small problem.
Problem?
I kind of committed us to find it.
Let their blood rain from the sky!
Trust me.
Ain't no way he about to go through this list and only shit on Transformers relentlessly. Yo.
I hate when you say that. Don't touch that.
Kill them slowly.
You finish the maze, you win the prize.
You'll have to do better than that.
They must complete this task alone.
You know, I love the way you track.
I'm not gonna lie, low-key looking at the trailer, it looked like it's kind of fun.
You get the map. How you get the girl and I get a map? We gotta work out some new plans.
I want them found.
Do you really think you can steal my destiny?
Be careful.
You too.
Marlon, why'd you agree to this?
Now is your time.
Mufasa.
Dungeons and Dragons.
You want to play, do you?
American online keyword D&D. What? Wow, that was a thing. Okay.
Just say Dungeons and Dragons is still in a dungeon. That was a bad pun. I'm sorry. I'll stop. Because this movie didn't do well. It didn't crash face first into the ground, but it still flopped in a way that was very noticeable. Now, to be completely honest, it was never gonna be a big winner though, given the fact that it had a massive budget of $150 million, but mostly because it came out and had to compete with the releases of Super Mario Brothers, which made well over $1 billion at the box office, and the highly anticipated John Wick 4, a fucking massive smash hit that overshadowed any other movie available at the time of its release.
As it
I
should.
would also add that the movie had a really underwhelming marketing campaign, which probably didn't help. It's not very clear how much money this movie lost.
I don't care how much it costs. I'm not releasing my movie the same weekend or anywhere around the time that Super Mario's out. I'm shifting that shit. We gonna push this shit back.
Reports say it is somewhere between 50 and 100 million. I can't say for certain, but the good news is, despite its failure at the box office, a report came out last month pretty much confirming that Paramount is still looking at making a possible sequel.
Really?
So it may not completely be doomed. But yeah, not much else to say about this one. So next, number 4. Fast X.
Here we go.
I don't think this is gonna surprise anybody.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to say we all saw this one coming. And it makes sense. This is just a classic case of whatever goes up must come down. The Fast and Furious movies reached their peak in 2015 with Furious 7. And since then, both on a critical standpoint, an audience reception standpoint, and on a box office standpoint, the franchise has only been met with diminishing returns. Now, yes, the movies have still been making a fuckload of money until now, apparently. Yep, it finally hit the threshold during that slow descent. To make it simple, Fast X is the ultimate confirmation that the Fast and Furious franchise is officially past its prime, both in terms of financial returns and in terms of popularity. And it's a big problem for the studio because if you don't know, these movies are very, very expensive to make. And now you're thinking, oh, another $200 million movie. Nope. I don't think you understand how expensive these movies are to make. Fast X alone had a budget of $340 million. And that's before marketing, which means you can add another 100 million for good measure. For context, this movie was more expensive to make than Avengers Infinity War. I think right now it is the 8th most expensive movie of all time. So yeah, despite the fact that it made about $700 million at the box office and is currently the 4th highest grossing movie of 2023, we still can't consider Fast X a success because it didn't actually break even. Do you see what I'm saying now? And I think the main reason for that is simply that the Fast and Furious franchise has outlived the meme. The dumb, fun element of the movies that made people like them so much has kind of run its course.
It's like now they actually have to go to space now.
Like it's reached that, all right, we get it point. There's only so many times you can watch Vin Diesel defy the laws of physics or give his cheesy one-liners while Tyrese makes the same jokes over and over again, and Ludacris spends an insane amount of time trying to explain the most bullshit science you've ever heard about. Like, after a while, it just gets a little Meh. The action can be fun, but over time it just turns into noise. It kind of blends into the non-stop chaos and it gets boring. Again, it's something that you look at now, 11 movies in, and you're just like, alright, we get it. Like, we've done this before. It's gonna have to end eventually. People did not lose their minds over Fast X. It just kind of came and went. And while people enjoy Jason Momoa as this over-the-top flamboyant Joker villain, and I actually liked him too, he was really fun in this role, the movie overall just kind of fell flat. And I don't think it's only because it's a bad movie, because most of the Fast and Furious movies are fun, bad movies. Everybody knows they're bad movies, but I've never stopped anybody from enjoying them. But I think it's also because we've kind of seen everything there is to see with this franchise. We've been at it for 22 years, my guy. It's getting old.
700 million is still kind of crazy though, like.
The excitement is just gone. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the box office numbers continue to drop like they have consistently been dropping for the past 8 years. Exiting the box office a quarter mile at a time. Okay, next. Number 3. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Oh, that's so funny, look.
I don't even know if I've seen this.
This is a bit of a special case because this movie doesn't stand on its own when it comes to its failure. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is kind of the inevitable fruition of a long streak of shitty Marvel projects. It's no secret that Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe was an absolute disappointment that largely took the form of a boring mess with no real direction. Added to the fact that it just had way too many entries, with a total of 7 movies and 8 TV series in only 2 years, with 2 Disney Plus specials thrown in the middle, the majority of which turned out to be overwhelmingly disliked by audiences. It was inevitable that one project would eventually come along and break the camel's back. And Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is that project. It is the movie that finally made everybody admit without the shadow of a doubt that Marvel is experiencing a pretty severe downfall. I think most people were aware that things had not been the same since Endgame, but this was the final nail in the coffin for the fandom as a whole. Because it's been 4 years since Endgame, and so far, despite never having released so many projects, the MCU has completely failed to give us any reason to remain invested in this saga. Now, to clarify, is Quantumania the worst MCU movie? No, I wouldn't say that. It's definitely one of the worst, but not the worst. So, if we've seen worse from the MCU, why is it that this movie in particular left audiences with such a bad taste in their mouths? Why does it feel so off to people? Sure, you could say that it's because it's the first movie of Phase 5 and we expected it to truly step the game up, and there's definitely some truth.
Let me get a spicy chicken sandwich, extra pickles, with a large fry and a Sprite. Bro, I haven't had Wendy's in forever.
Truth in that, but I have a little theory. I think this movie really rubbed audiences the wrong way because while Quantumania is not the worst MCU movie, it is definitely the most corporate MCU movie to date.
Who are you talking to? Oh, Krishna asked. He said he's at Wendy's. What y'all want?
What I mean by that is that this movie truly has no soul. It doesn't feel like it exists for any other reason than the fact that it was on Marvel's release schedule. It doesn't have a reason to exist. Like, you could say its purpose is to introduce Kang the Conqueror, who is gonna be the successor of Thanos as the big bad of the multiverse saga, but no? Kang was already introduced in Loki. I would have understood if Quantumania was going to introduce a version of Kang that was going to become the big ultimate final boss that the Avengers would face, But spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, that's also incorrect. Because the Kang from Quantumania dies.
Oh.
He's literally insignificant in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, what the fuck?
This movie has no reason to exist.
Wait, what? Wait, literally, there's no reason. There's actually no reason.
Characters in the movie barely have a reason to be in it. Literally, this movie is titled Ant-Man and the Wasp, and neither of these characters can justify their own existence in the story. Scott doesn't even have an arc in his own film, and Janet is barely in the film. It's just, watching Quantumania is a very hollow experience. It feels stale and forced. You can feel that this project was only made to make more money for Disney, not to further the story of these characters in any capacity. And yes, Marvel has been feeling like that since Endgame, maybe at the exception of WandaVision and Guardians 3, maybe Shang-Chi, but I think the reason why Quantumania sticks out so much in terms of disdain from fans is because it is by far the project that is the most unsubtle with it. This is the most boring and soulless MCU entry to date, a very blatant realization of how the people at Disney and Marvel have taken these fans for granted since Endgame. And again, it's not the worst MCU movie, but it is the most corporate one. You can just feel that this movie was made by a giant corporation following all of the cliche guidelines to make a blockbuster hit, and it failed, by the way. After the huge disappointment that was Phase 4, Marvel fans are no longer willing to run out again and again to support MCU outings, which shows, because Quantumania is now officially a box office bomb and lost an estimated $125 million at the box office. A huge flop that probably makes it Marvel's biggest financial failure to date. And I, for one, am not surprised one bit. Let's move on.
Damn.
Number 2, Barbie. I'm kidding. Number 2, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
I was about to say, okay, now you're just chatting, bro.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Elderly potheads. Why did it have to be elderly potheads?
Okay, I'm gonna be super.
Yo, from the first trailer, I was like, yo, this shit looks kind of. This should have been stopped. They should have been stopped making these films a while ago. This nigga way too damn old to be doing this shit.
For honest right now, I'm not sure I understand why this entry surprised people so much. While I understand how something like Mission Impossible left people scratching their heads over the disappointing box office.
Yeah, I know, bro. Like, what? Like, it's literally, he's a goat. Like, fuck it. Who cares? Fuck it, we ball. He's still a goat.
I just don't get why anyone thought Indiana Jones 5 was gonna.
Did you see that? Look at his head.
Don't get why anyone thought Indiana.
I remember I pointed this out in the trailer. It's just so weird. Like, it's, oh my god, the CG, bro.
5 was gonna be a big thing. This is probably the film on this list that I am the least surprised about. And I didn't even hate this movie. I thought it was fine. Not great. Definitely not great, but it was fine. I like Indiana Jones. I saw the original trilogy for the first time as a kid, like most people, and I've always been into it. I wasn't particularly looking forward to this 5th installment, and I know it was quite divisive, but I saw it and it was all right. That's said though, while I liked it just fine, I am absolutely not surprised to hear that this movie bombed.
Here y'all go, bro. Here y'all go with this shit, bro. Grow the fuck up, man.
Really fucking hard. Like I said, I'm surprised people thought it wouldn't. See, the big problem with Indiana Jones that I think the big execs in Hollywood never understood is that compared to big franchises like Star Wars that have also been around for 40 plus years, Indiana Jones never really managed to modernize itself. And what I mean by modernize itself is that it never really found a way to speak to a younger audience. And
yes, I seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3, bro. Yes, I fucking saw it, bro. And it was cool. I fucked with it.
Okay, I'll just say it how it is. The Indiana Jones audience is old. That's it. That's the primary reason.
I mean,
it's a franchise
true.
that just doesn't speak to young millennials and Gen Z. It just doesn't have an appeal to young people. Most fans of Indiana Jones are over the age of 35, and within this group, I'd be willing to bet that a majority of them are 40 years old or older. It's very much a product of its time, and it's very much an American thing. People outside the US don't really give a shit about Indiana Jones. Maybe they did like in the 90s, but broski.
Ironic.
Indiana Jones's pop culture status has not been up there in a very
I don't want to see TC go out like this, but TC would never use CGI. He would do the shit himself. He don't care what ligament he breaks. Same thing with Jackie Chan. Shout out to Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan is also a legend.
long time. But my theory is that I think because Hollywood is mostly ran by old men who don't really understand modern audiences, they believe this movie would be a smash hit without having considered the fact that millennials and Gen Zers currently make the bulk of film audiences going to the theaters, and that there is absolutely no interest in Indiana Jones coming from them. There was no real hype for this movie. The excitement was mainly reaching American men over the age of 35. That's it. And by the way, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You can totally make movies having an older target audience in mind.
If you wanted to flop the book,
that's not an insane thing to do. But if you're gonna make a movie targeting 40-plus-year-olds by banking on nostalgia, then dude, maybe you don't spend $300 million on that movie, because obviously you're not gonna make that back.
Oh,
this
God.
movie cost $300 million. $400 million with marketing. And I don't know what they were thinking, because it was kind of obvious that they wouldn't be able to count on international audiences either, because Indiana Jones lost its status a long time ago. And also because the last time they tried to make an Indiana Jones movie, they made a movie so bad that some people are still not over it 15 years later. There's absolutely no sugarcoating this. Indiana Jones 5 is a box office disaster. It is a bomb, and a big one. Especially when you consider the fact that it cost $300 million to make. I think they thought this movie would have the same hype as a Marvel movie and pull in like 120 million open.
That's the people gotta stop thinking they Marvel movies. You're just not. Marvel did something that you just can't you can't replicate ever again, because nobody want to sit through all that shit, because they're immediately gonna be like, oh my god, they trying to be like Marvel. I ain't doing all this shit again. Hell no.
Weekend without flinching. But like, broski, nah, man. Dial of Destiny opened way below expectations with only $60 million domestically. And so far, it has grossed just over $300 million in its entire run. This movie could turn out to be one of the biggest flops of all time.
Oh my God.
They are gonna lose hundreds of millions of dollars. Indiana Jones 5 is a financial disaster of an unseen scale. And it
60K opening, $60 million opening weekend. Oh my god.
Again, I'm not surprised one bit. I have no idea why Disney was so convinced this would be $1 billion hit.
Because all the niggas behind Disney are old ass people, bro. They're old ass people, which is probably why they're remaking these movies. I don't get it. I don't get why they're doing this, bro. Just because y'all like that back in the 1930s and stuff like that, and you just remaking it now, don't mean everybody gonna like it the way you liked it when you was younger.
It makes no sense. I cannot shake just how disastrous of a year Disney just had at the box office.
Disney producers, you cannot remake a moment over again just because you have the name in the title with the same actor. You just please just stop, man. Damn.
They had 6 major releases in the first half of 2023.
Oh my God, Haunted Mansion. That dropped? Oh, wait. Oh, damn, I didn't even know that dropped. July? Oh, on Disney Plus. Okay, on Disney Plus. Yikes. Yikes.
Which is a lot. 6 big projects that they were banking on to turn a major profit for them. Billions of dollars of revenue. And out of those 6 movies, only one of them was successful. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. All of the other movies on their roster this year flopped, and flopped spectacularly. Little Mermaid barely managed to break even and might have not even achieved that. Ant-Man 3 crashed and burned, losing $125 million in the process. Elemental barely kept its head above water and ended its run.
Wait, that's true. Because I forgot about that. Now that I think about it, it's crazy how they even put Transformers in Fortnite and the shit was still unnoticed. I had no idea that shit was in theaters.
And on the verge of losing money, and Indiana Jones 5 is now expected to lose so much money that it could place itself in the top 3 biggest box office bombs of all time.
Damn.
Oh, and that's not even mentioning the recently released Haunted Mansion, their 6th big project of the year that also brutally crashed at the box office. It barely managed to make $60 million in its first 3 weeks in the cinemas, which is an absolute
Oh, it was in theaters. Damn. I like that actor too.
Catastrophe, given the fact that the movie had a budget of $150 million.
Oh.
This movie is gonna lose so much money. It's insane. It's at this point, there's just no denying it. 2023 has been an astronomical failure for Disney at the box office.
That's aggressively embarrassing.
And at this point, it's not a coincidence. Their final major release of the year, I believe, is gonna be The Marvels.
Oh yeah, we already know that shit going down a motherfucking that shit.
Which is coming out in November, and I don't think this movie is gonna be very successful given how Marvel's popularity is down in the gutter right now. I think it's gonna perform about as well as Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
I'm not gonna lie, that movie's done. It's up for that.
But even if by some miracle this movie is successful, it still won't be even close to enough to save Disney's catastrophic year at the box office. And Disney is very well...
If people weren't even like barely going to see the Ant-Man movie, like, you think they about to see them 3 bitches? I'm joking, ladies.
Well aware of that because CEO Bob Iger recently announced that he plans to reduce the number of major Disney titles coming out, and he plans to severely cut down the amount of money thrown into these projects.
It's about time. Which means, are these movies gonna be shit now? Like, the movies are already like, they be trash, but are they gonna look, now they're gonna visibly look like worse? I really wonder how that's gonna affect, like, what areas are they gonna cut out?
Everybody says that audiences talk to Hollywood with their wallets, and it seems like this time the message was clear and loud enough to actually scare them. I am very clear Hollywood.
You can't even really get immersed
amount
in these
of money
movies
thrown into these projects.
You can't get immersed in these movies anymore because, like, you can see the green screen, like the CGI.
Everybody says that audiences talk to Hollywood.
Like, look at this. And especially since I've seen, like, you see the behind the scenes of the other Marvel movies, you know they're standing on that big blue studio shit with probably some rocks propped in certain places, and they're looking at a blue screen. That's all I see now.
With their wallets, and it seems like this time the message was clear and loud enough to actually scare them. I am very curious to see what the next couple of years are going to look like for Disney, because they just got slapped in the face with a $1 billion wake-up call.
It's about time.
Anyways, now that we're done with all the Disney stuff, let's move on to number 1. The Flash.
Damn! I hope this also lets people know that you know, maybe kind of next time you think about making a superhero movie, maybe just move away from it. Just maybe do something else, because like this shit just not hitting anymore, for real.
All right, here we are. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for me to talk about this movie since before it even came out, so now I'm gonna do it! The Flash is easily the biggest anomaly of the year in terms of movies. This is by far the weirdest project on the list for a number of reasons. The downfall of The Flash, believe it or not, is a train wreck that was almost a decade in the making. Yeah, a lot of people forget that, but this movie was announced 9 years ago. Ezra Miller was cast as the Flash and had their movie announced in 2014. To put it into perspective, it was announced on the day the second episode of the CW Flash aired. In that time, the CW made 9 seasons of the show. This movie was announced when Game of Thrones was in its 4th season. How I Met Your Mother was still on the air when this movie was announced. This movie was announced when I was 19 years old, and I am now 28. The movie was initially set to be released on March 23rd, 2018.
Damn.
Yeah, this thing is 5 years late. And the worst part is, by the time 2018 came around, they didn't even have a script yet. So now you may ask, why did this movie take so much time to happen? Well, this is where things get
went down. Y'all are so annoying, bro.
a little insane. If you don't know, the Flash movie is a project that has been plagued with behind-the-scenes issues from day one.
Wait, is this the movie with the other Batman? What's his name? Michael Keaton? Is that this one? Because that's the only Flash movie I know that came out this year. Okay, bet. Damn. Niggas got Michael Keaton and still flop.
It was just a never-ending series of conflicts between creators, actors, studios, directors that just stuck the project into a loop. The Flash went through 6 different directors.
Shit. This was doomed from the start.
Walked out of the project over creative differences. Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the directors of the Lego Movie, the 21 Jump Street movies, or more recently, the Spider-Verse masterpiece.
Oh, they don't want this shit on their resume. I get it.
Were attached to write and direct the movie, but the studio kept trying to change their vision, so they eventually left, opting to join Disney to direct Solo, a Star Wars story instead. Which, by the way, is fucking funny because they were eventually fired from that movie as well, because Disney and Lucasfilm did not want to respect their vision.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. They obviously, their track record speaks for themselves. Let them do what they want to do. Holy shit. They could probably made that movie a banger.
And it was Seth Grahame-Smith, the author of Pride and Prejudice and Zombies and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, who joined the project in 2015. And Abraham Lincoln.
How do they even pick these people? Like, what the fuck? This is so random. Yo, we're making a Flash movie. Yo, let's get the guy that did Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Lincoln Vampire Hunter, who joined the project in 2015 and was set to write a new script based on Lord and Miller's treatment, as well as direct the movie. It was going to be his directorial debut, but he ended up leaving the project just 6 months later, again, due to creative differences. After that, it's Rick Famuyiwa, the director of Dope, that clocked in to direct the movie. It's reported that he was brought on because Warner Brothers believed his unique vision would resonate.
We gotta switch it up. Let's get a black guy, man. We gotta try something. We need niggas in these seats, man.
better with a younger audience. So he joined the project in June of 2016, and the announcement of his involvement got people really excited because he's an excellent director. He reworked the script to be more of a buddy cop movie where the Flash was going to team up with Cyborg, but lo and behold, Rick ended up leaving the project just 4 months later in October because the studio didn't agree with the more mature approach he had to the story, and they were not willing to budge. And so after that, the movie was put on hold and taken out of the Warner Brothers release schedule. Fast forward to January 2017, it was announced that Warner Brothers decided to completely reimagine the film and scrapped all of the work.
Imagine that. Like, one of those ideas were probably like, it would have been good. And it probably could have changed the whole trajectory of the Flash character and the films to follow. Why does he run like that?
That Warner Brothers decided to completely reimagine.
You never see Tom Cruise run like that.
The film. And
see, the thing about TC is straight back and then this arms motion high knees.
Scrapped all of the work that was done over the last 3 years. They then hired a new writer named Joby Harold and ordered a page 1 rewrite of The Flash. Oh, and for the record, Joby Harold is the guy who wrote Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Oh, and he also wrote the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that came out last year. So this gives you an idea of where we're going with this. After he rewrote the movie, Warner Brothers decided...
They said GG. GG. JJ.
Decided to start looking for a new director.
Yo, someone said Obi-Wan was good though, and then their message got deleted. Why the fuck you do that? Why did you do that?
Which was an absolute fucking mess because after all that drama, nobody wanted to touch it. They pitched the movie to Robert Zemeckis, the director of Back to the Future.
Oh, don't ruin your fucking legacy with that.
Matthew Vaughn, director of Kingsman.
Oh, don't ruin your fucking legacy with that.
Sam Raimi and Mark Webb, both directors of Spider-Man movies,
your legacy with that.
Every single one of them turned it down.
Good
Jordan
job.
Peele was then offered the movie,
Don't
and
ruin
he
your
said
legacy
no,
with that.
and they even tried to attach Ben Affleck to direct the movie, but he also opted not to.
Oh my god, the nigga's he be in the movie. He don't even want nothing to do with it. God damn. God damn.
Do it. It's only a year later, in March of 2018, that they got new directors to join the project.
What's up,
John
Twan
Francis
James?
Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, the duo that later would direct Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Oh, y'all already lost. They're like, y'all already it's just over for y'all. Like, your career is sealed. You're done. You're done, buddy.
Which we talked about earlier in this video, joined the project and picked up pre-production. Everything was going steady until Ezra Miller decided to put themselves in the middle. Ezra was reportedly unhappy with the vision of the directors, and they decided to rewrite the movie themselves with the help of Grant Morrison, an extremely loved and respected comic book writer who notably wrote All-Star Superman, which is considered by many to be the single greatest Superman story ever told.
Oh, wow.
However, Warner Brothers was happy with the current version of the movie and was not particularly interested in Miller and Morrison rewriting it.
Did y'all not hear that he wrote one of the greatest Superman? Like what? Why wouldn't they listen to this? Ain't no way dude spun the block on Transformers. It wasn't that bad.
So they decided to only give them 2 weeks to rewrite the whole thing.
Wait, what is happening? I think they're doing this on purpose. I think they literally just wanted this movie to bomb because like, what is happening?
Pitch it. And Ezra stated that
why the fuck is he sweating?
If this 5th version of the movie didn't satisfy the studio, they would walk out of the project altogether. By this point, the movie had been in development for 5 years, so people were getting kind of annoyed. Ezra and Morrison reportedly reinvented the movie as a more simple time travel flick heavily inspired by Back to the Future, but Warner Brothers was opposed to it because they absolutely wanted the story to touch on the concept of the multiverse.
Oh my god, see, bro, they don't want to make a good film. They want to make a film that can lead into other films for them. to make more money, bro.
Because they absolutely wanted the story to touch on the concept of the multiverse. Once again, nobody agreed, so the studio rejected the script a couple months later, and John Francis Delaney and Jonathan Goldstein left the project immediately after.
Oh my god, they didn't even do it? Oh shit, what the fuck?
Somehow, though, Warner Brothers managed to keep Ezra Miller in their role as the Flash.
Come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
So, in 2019, back to square one, the studio hired a new writer, Christina Hudson, the writer
girl
of Bumblebee, to write a brand new script. And a few months later, Andy Muschietti, the director of It,
don't ruin your legacy, man. Wait, what? So what the girl work on? Oh, Bumblebee, yeah.
The project.
I mean, you know, there's no really legacy there.
With his sister, and they started pre-production in January of 2020.
Oh god.
And this would end up being the team that made the movie we actually got to see.
Oh god.
But we're not done. That's not where the problem stopped, because it is only then, when they finally figured their shit out after 6 years in development hell, that the next problem appeared. And that problem was Ezra Miller, who for some reason is not in prison yet. That whole situation that we've all heard about continued to plague the movie, and it got to the point where Warner Brothers actually considered not releasing The Flash due to how bad things were getting. And let me tell you, it would have been a wild move on their part, because
I don't know how this still came out, bro. I don't know how he finessed the system. Maybe they really needed they just needed this movie to work, bro.
They spent $200 million making this thing, but that just tells you how messed up the shit Ezra Miller was doing was. Like, it was so messed up that it almost convinced a major corporation ran by greedy businessmen to throw away $200 million.
Oh my god, what happened? What did he say? Oh my god. I just wanted a picture, dog.
By greedy businessmen to throw away $200 million. Basically, they went back and forth for a very long time until they gave Ezra an ultimatum to calm them the fuck down. As we all know, Ezra caved, did the public apologies, and
having recently gone through a time of intense crisis, I now understand that I am suffering complex mental issues and have begun ongoing treatment. Okay, man.
Now we haven't really heard about them since. And they haven't faced any real repercussions for their actions.
I mean, it's an accusation, but hello? Hello? Hello?
That's an option I present people, always.
Hi.
And always just knock you out, and then you won't have to panic.
Right, you just gotta knock people out.
Just let me know.
Yeah.
No? Yes?
What?
That's an option I present people, always.
Hi.
And always just knock you out, and then you won't have to panic.
Right, you just gotta knock people out.
Just let me know.
Yeah.
No? Yes?
What?
That's an option I...
Oh, God. I'll knock you out, guy, but I'm 12. Even better. Jesus Christ. Oh, good.
Even got to attend the premiere of the movie. America.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. And then, after all this fucking nonsense, the rumblings started to be heard. Rumblings coming from industry insiders who had gotten a chance to see The Flash in various stages of post-production. And let's just say their reactions were pretty wild. We started hearing everywhere that The Flash might just be the greatest superhero movie ever made. There were talks about how, despite the endless drama and chaos behind the scenes, Andy Muschietti managed to come through with an absolute masterpiece of a film that was going to blow away literally everyone.
Who the fuck is
Even
that?
James Gunn, when he came in to run the new DCEU, told everyone that he'd seen The Flash, and he said he also was flabbergasted, and he also called it one of the greatest comic book movies of all time.
How much did he get paid to say that?
We even heard at some point that Tom Cruise had...
Shut the fuck up. Yo, Yo, I think you're actually a fucking cap channel. Holy shit. Wait. Friendly Space Ninja. I think you actually just fucking lie on your channel for fucking clicks and views. Holy shit, you're such a dick rider. Holy fucking shit.
Comic book movies of all time. We even heard at some point that Tom Cruise had seen the movie and like allegedly he was so impressed with it that he personally called Andy Muschietti to like work.
He would never fucking say that. You're such a liar, bro. He would never say that.
With him in the future or some shit. Like, it was wild. People were talking like this was the second.
Wow. TC would never, ever commend an actor or a film where they don't even do their own stunts. Like, what? Huh? Vid is weird. Weird, dude. Check pen, he did.
Shout out my nigga ImDOntia.
Nothing can be the new thing, because now with the internet, anything that comes out will be called a knockoff of something else, and it will be the same people watching every Marvel movie saying that. God damn! Batman vs Superman was packed in my state like that when it came out.
It's so weird for him to just throw TC in there. Like, that wasn't even warranted.
Coming of Christ. They were hyping this movie up like it was the greatest piece of cinema to come out since The Godfather. People could not have been.
What is that?
More excited.
Wait, is that a joke? Is that a meme?
Cinema to come out since The Godfather. People could not have been more excited or intrigued. And then the movie actually came out. And here's the thing.
It's a cameo. It's real.
I first came out of the theater after seeing The Flash, I was like, huh. I think I liked it. I was still feeling underwhelmed because of how much people had been hyping it up before it actually came out, so I think my expectations were way too high. And for obvious reason, I have also grown a particular distaste for Ezra Miller that was somewhere in the back of my head the whole time, but I didn't hate myself watching it. However, as time went on over the next few days, the more I thought about the movie, the less I liked it. And now, as it stands, I don't think I like this movie very much. I changed my mind. There are things about it that I like. It has its moments here and there, but overall, as a whole film, I think The Flash is kind of mid and kind of forgettable. Honestly, the story is just kind of whatever. It's just a severely dumbed down version of the Flashpoint Paradox, which is a fantastic comic book that this movie loosely adapted. And yes, the movie looks fucking ugly and the story is so not good. And yes, the movie
is that supposed to be an actual baby?
Fucking
is this a dream sequence? What the fuck is this?
Ugly, and the story is so not memorable or impactful that the cringy CGI seems to be all people
That's literally PlayStation 3, like, cutscene graphics.
Can talk about with this movie, which is understandable because, frankly, it makes absolutely no
Oh my god!
sense to me that a movie that cost $220 million with 2023 technology can look this bad. Realistically, it's probably because they didn't give the artists enough time to finish their work properly, but still. Look, there are some things to like about it, okay? Michael Keaton's Batman, fucking incredible. I absolutely loved him in this movie.
Yeah, but like that should not be the selling point. Like make the movie actually good.
That one joke when Barry tries to run but has lost his powers made me laugh out loud. It's a very funny callback / response to people who criticize the way the Flash was running. It's a very funny callback / response.
Wait, when did this movie come out? This year? Oh yeah. I mean, that clip should be like on YouTube, right? Okay, yeah, it is.
Oh no!
What the fuck? No, that's actually funny.
His powers made me laugh out loud. It's a very funny callback / response to people who criticize the way the Flash was running in Justice League. Sasha Calle's Supergirl was absolutely fantastic, though very underused.
She looked badass.
I really hope that we get to see her again. Like, yeah, the movie has its little perks, but like overall, And yes, everybody has said it already, and I will say it too. The third act of this movie is just straight up awful. It's so bad. It's such a
oh my god, that's so ugly.
Terrible finale that feels so empty, and there are so many things about it that are just so stupid plot-wise. The big villain of the movie is so lame, the way the conflict is resolved is so lame, and like I said, in the end, I find the movie to be very forgettable. It's not the worst thing the DCU has ever made, like it's not Suicide Squad or Wonder Woman 1984 or the Joss Whedon Justice League, but it's still a mediocre movie. But with all that said, saying The Flash is a failure is probably the biggest understatement I've made in this video. Because The Flash...
Suicide Squad was good? Wait, which one? Like the first Suicide Squad was not... was kind of... Oh, the second one? Yeah, the second one was cool. I fuck with that one.
Didn't just fail. No. It fucking crashed. It crashed into a crater and then got beat up by a million gorillas. Like this movie. Crater and then got beat up by a million gorillas. Like this movie.
What is that?
Crater and then got beat up by a million gorillas. Like, this
Oh my
movie
God.
is a disaster.
Injustice
like
2.
we've rarely
Holy shit.
seen before. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me put it into perspective for you. The Flash is now the biggest comic book movie flop of all time. Let me say that in another way for you, because I don't think you understand the scope of what I mean. No comic book movie in the history of cinema has bombed harder than The Flash. I want you to think of all the major superhero movie flops that have come out over the years.
Green Lantern. There's no way it's worse than Green Lantern. There's no way it's worse than Green Lantern. Or flopped harder than Green Lantern.
All the embarrassing failures that people made fun of like forever. Think about them.
Green Lantern.
Fan Four Stick did better than The Flash.
Wait, that was like that's probably like arguably worse than the Green Lantern. Holy shit! Everybody hated this movie. Everyone hated this movie.
Catwoman.
No. Okay. There's no. People actually hated this movie. People really hated this movie. Yo, Green Lantern
did better than The Flash. Green Lantern did better than The Flash. Black Adam did better than The Flash. New Mutants did better than The Flash.
New Mutants
did better than The Flash. New Mutants.
Oh, New Mutants. No way. No way. No way. It's not even... That's so disrespectful. Do you know how bad that is? Do you know how bad that is?
Mutants did better than The Flash. And actually, you know what? Scratch all of these. I got even better. Morbius did better than The Flash. Morbius, my guy. It's Morbin time. A movie that came out in the theaters and flopped. And then Sony tried to re-release it in theaters a few months later. And it flopped again. A movie that was memed into oblivion so badly that even the actors in the movie started to mock it too. Literally the biggest joke in the film industry did better than The Flash. Make no mistake here. The Flash is a failure of historic proportions.
Oh my God.
It is estimated that this movie has lost Warner Brothers well over $200 million. In the history of cinema, there is only one film that has lost more money than The Flash. It's Disney's 2012 catastrophe, John Carter, which also lost over $200 million in nominal numbers.
What the
The
fuck?
Flash is a train wreck. And this movie failed for a number of
Everybody's like, who the fuck is that?
reasons. One, the immediate reaction from general audiences
Oh my
seeing
God.
the movie, creating some mixed word of mouth. Two, a lot of people decided not to see this movie to stand against Ezra Miller, and a lot of people are just kind of tired of superhero shit. Like, when you have a new superhero movie every month, you're not rushing in the theaters
Yes,
to see all of
bro,
them day
thank
one.
you.
But even with all those very valid factors, the way this movie crashed and burned at the box office,
What is this whole scene? There's like babies and he's like eating food and shit.
is just so embarrassing. And Warner Brothers is very aware of it. The other day I came across a headline that read, "Warner Brothers is reportedly too embarrassed to release The Flash on streaming."
Oh my God.
And I'm sorry, but that's fucking hilarious. And yeah, by the way, I'd be embarrassed too. You took an entire decade to make a movie, going through 6 directors because a bunch of suits think they know better than the creators they hire to create, and all of that to release a mid-movie starring a fucking criminal who was literally on the run after being exposed for repeatedly assaulting women in public and allegedly in kids, and you stood by them and supported them.
Yet, what's his name? Like, got cut from everything.
Which is good because my speed is lagging. Running on empty, Alfred. You hear that? That's my stomach.
Kong. Jonathan Mayers. There we go.
No. It's the collapse of the East Wing.
He literally got like eviscerated. Oh my God. They're actual babies. That doesn't look good at all.
Harry, start your slow. There's a baby.
Someone said after this scene, I walked out the theaters. Oh my gosh. That was funny though. I feel like if there was just if they just did better with the like the CGI, that because it like it looks cool and it's funny. It's just so like random. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, bro. It just throws me off.
And brought them in full glam to your premiere, all in an effort to make money off of this thing. You crossed so many moral lines just to make money, and you failed miserably. So yeah, Warner Brothers, I'd be embarrassed too. Anyways, I'm done talking about this shit. There you have it. 10 of the biggest box office flops of 2023.
Why are you only showing this video?
A surprisingly bleak year for the film industry. Everyone is losing right now. The WGA and SAG are fighting for their future.
Now you know who's winning? A24. Holy shit.
Again, links in the description if you'd like to learn more about that. The studios.
Because I was sitting there wondering when I was in theaters, like why every freaking trailer was from A24, and it turns out like they're like an independent type of thing where they are excluded from like the strike, so they're able to just put out movies and shit like that. I was like, oh shit, they're winning, bro. They are on top right now.
are losing so much money, it's ridiculous. Like, it's just not a winning year for this industry. And I think 2023 is a pivotal year for the future of cinema. I think in the next few years, we are going to see some major changes in the landscape. Things are about to change, and I just hope they're gonna change for the best.
Me too, man. I love the movies, bro. I love the movies.
Anyways, go watch my Idol video. It's really good. You're gonna love it, I promise.
But if you know, you know.
Another W video, man. Another W video. I love his videos, bro. Absolutely love his videos, man. Make sure y'all check his videos out too if y'all fuck with him, or if y'all fucked with that, man. W stream, chat. W stream, man. We've been oh my god, I've been recording that. This video is gonna be 2 hours and 22 minutes long, and 6 seconds and 8 seconds and 9 seconds and